fashion and in design, you're literally working 24/7. But it's a hectic business. Fashion is very, very tough. But it's fun. I mean, I'm not saying tough like that. I'm saying you always have to be on the move. It's like, this is a trend going next year. You know, it's very top. This is all expensive. The audience who's looking at your work is not bothered or interested in the background of what you do.
Sustainability, it's a very huge word. It's a small word, but its meaning is huge. What is sustainability? See this. This is very, very beautiful. These blocks say something. We can understand, we can't hear what they want to say. So deep. There are some values of who make this. Now I can't make this. Even I can pay 10 time rupees, I can't get this. Every block has their own values. It's a artistic piece. You know, that time people make things from, like, it's a art. Nowadays, business.
I don't really like to think of sustainability as a binary system. It's not sustainable or unsustainable. There's a lot of things in between about how things are made ethically, how fibres are grown organically, the recycling of textiles, the circularity of design and the circularity of the garments, what happens after the garment's been used. Our design students from fashion and textile areas worked with students in Delhi at the National Institute of Fashion Technology. They together dreamt up fantastic projects which were circular in design.
So we had the fashion end result in mind and we were designing for the idea of fashion, but for us it was a lot more about creating like a material that was really special.
We utilised university project fabric scraps. We unravelled the fabric and tied similar sizes together and secured the yarn with a weaver's knot for strength.
We want to come up with solutions that are simple and can be applied globally, and at the same time promote the idea of collaboration. Weaving a plain weave swatch, it's essentially representing the concept of circular economy because the fibers have been extracted from waste cloth.
The actual process of making fabrics is pretty amazing. I don't know really if you call it like slow textiles, but it's like the idea that there's like value in things and things can be really precious when you go to throw it away because it's a bit worn out. It doesn't actually have to be the end of something's life. And yeah, rethinking the idea that things can be used again and it can be circular.
Because of the numbers of people, there are no simple solutions. Life is not about a simple yes, no, or a good, bad, because there are so many facets to every problem. The whole idea of sustainability has really taken root amongst the young, and they are very conscious that this is the world that they are growing up in, and they need to take charge because it is our generation which has very unfortunately caused this damage.
I would be honest in saying that sustainability was not the biggest thing that we were thinking of when we started. It was craft. And craft means things which are handcrafted. Craft means something which is made indigenously by the communities which have been living here. And it's something which has been traditionally there. Which means a lot of hand work, a lot of things of, how you think about the society, how you look at the community, how you look at livelihoods. Craft has survived in our country because it's our living culture.
Stay with them. That is the only option. If you want to understand the lifestyle of a craftsman, what time they get up, what time they sleep, what time they eat, what they do after get up. So it's a continuously thing. They don't stop. I am explaining about Dabu printing.
How do you
What
spell
content? DABU.
DABU. Thank you.
You should understand how to do and how somebody is doing. That's the only difference. Otherwise, a small child can do this. So it's a okay. So no need to beat in Dabu printing. This piece will be a masterpiece. We can't make again.
Pressure away. Ooh, big decisions. What are they called?
So the block beating sound is very. That time when I was child, the whole day I was listening the only talk block printing sound. That is good for me. I miss that when I go some other place. Everybody is doing nicely. Now I can say this is done. So I learned with these things with my in my family only, from my father, my grandfather. My father teach me do like this, handle like this, catch like this. It's a lifetime learning. In childhood, did you eat chocolate? Parents give you money, pocket money. You eat chocolates? I didn't. I used to collect these things from that money. I spend my money on these things. So still chocolate I can have any from anywhere. I can give money and I can collect chocolate. I can't collect these things. Okay. You should offer me a chocolate, okay? Because you are seeing all this.
If you're watching an artisan at work, it's really like a couture process, and that really handmade process, steeped in tradition, cultural value, the types of materials and the types of dyes on those materials. All of that is part of that particular craft or that particular region of India.
We'll put for dry.
if we talk about artisans, we're talking about it's dying out. You know, lots of artisans are worried about their livelihoods dying out because they're competing with fast fashion. And I think the reality is, if there's a tradition of a family business that's been going for many generations, and that business can no longer survive, and that's all those artisans know, then what are they going to do?
That I am not satisfied because without exploring we can't grow. I don't want to stop my mind like traditional people. So this is typical process. There are few artisans are alive to do this. If somebody talk about further printing, so there are only 2 or 3 names. Why? Then I thought, why only 2 or 3 names? It should be more. It will take time, business wise or anything wise. But I am doing, just doing. So every piece is having my sweating. Every piece, I can say that.
You know, in Delhi, we've had a huge issue with pollution. Like the air is really bad. So what you see here is air. The color is actually air in this. So we've upcycled air. So this is PM 2.5 concentrated, which you see in these fabrics, in the dyes. We've taken air, concentrated it, purified it, taken the carbon out of it, and the carbon has then been converted into an ink, and then that's been used. So this is more like now, how do you take textiles and how do you really take textiles to the next level? So all the black which you see is, in this, is around 6 grams, so it will be almost 20 hours of vehicular pollution in this fabric. Yeah, I would say it's quite radical and it's quite path-breaking also. So all of this is also done on this steamer. It's black, it's time, it's death, it's goddess Kali. So it has a lot of variations to it. But globally, I think it's the first time something like this is being done. And this is really pushing the idea of sustainability because we are putting pollution back into the cycles. It's like a full circular process also. And also, I think it is also to kind of start a conversation around Delhi as a city, India as a country, and globally what's happening with air pollution, because I think it's one of the most critical things which all of us are dealing with right now.
But if it's broken, it can be fixed. Perception of fashion has to change, so the idea of valuing clothing is understood and more of a driver. Along that design process, people are kind of creating new ideas, they're originating new thoughts, they're innovating with fabrics. Things that don't already exist are now being produced. You as the designer and you as the design team or you as the student know how much work has gone into that, but the consumer doesn't necessarily. So there's an education that's missing about what is involved in the making of these garments.
The problems that we have in Delhi right now. So one of the major issue that we have is the pollution. So one of the major reason that we have pollution is just because of stubble burning, which is happening in major parts of India. What we are focusing mainly is like how to get rid of the problems. So basically, we are trying to mold down the raw straws, incorporate the straw into fabrics. So mainly, we are focusing in the textile areas.
It was a bit of everyone having separate ideas and bringing it all together. I had the kit idea. It's just a one-off kit that you have for as long as you can, or your whole life. And then the NIF students had the textile development. At every step we're thinking it's all natural. It's like a kit that can be worn multiple times, but you can reuse it in different ways, like resew it into a length, wear it as a sari, resew it into something, or it can just be biodegradable at end of life.
They're not saying we won't buy fast fashion, but they are saying we will not buy as much of fast fashion. And can we do with less? To be more conscious and more conscientious about wastage, about not discarding clothes unthinkingly, and to realize that do we really need that many clothes? So I think as academia, we have a much larger role beyond the confines of our institute. And we must look at sustainability of not only of the environment and the planet, but sustainability, sustenance of livelihoods.
Teaching in New Zealand and teaching in India, there really are no differences. We're all talking about the same problems that exist in the world of fast fashion. For me, that's the value of this project. They're already in sync with the same challenges. They're already facing the same issues as young designers, designing for an industry that's currently damaging the world.
After doing a lot of research and discussions, we realized that if each person changes, the world will change. First there's a lot of internalization. Who am I? Am I sustainable? Who is a sustainable person? Who is a sustainable designer? So it's not we talk of sustainability and we've left the crafts away, but it's the two, because intrinsically craft is sustainable. By sustainability, it's not just recycling or upcycling is sustainable, but also if you're sustaining a livelihood.
I don't know what will happen and how far I can go with this. But I am trying to alive this. Thank you.